In ancient Athens, the hull of an antique ship would greet the tourists on the seashore. It was told that the ship was the one Theseus used to sail home after his exploits. The civilized and witty Theseus is seen as the opposite of the brute force-believing Heracles. Today, the local guns of Navarone are silent. Here, in another region with other myths, once the British and the French warships aimed to disrupt Russian naval activities, to create pressure on the Russian Empire. Russia was to be challenged on the Baltic Sea. There was a war in Crimea. An Anglo-French force attacks a Russian fortress. The Battle of Bomarsund was part of the Crimean War, even if Crimea is over 3,000 kilometers away from Åland. The designers of the fortress assume that it will be protected by the narrow sea passages. This would have been true for sailing ships, but not for the steamships now in use. After the Russian surrender, the French and the British forces demolished the fortress. British engineers remained for some months to ensure it cannot be easily rebuilt. 700,000 bricks are brought to Helsinki to construct the Uspensky Cathedral. Today, museum and memorials mark the places for all parties involved in the battle. In 1856, in the Treaty of Paris, the major European powers agreed to demilitarize the islands. The islands are to be neutral and not to be used for military purposes. There are almost 7,000 islands here. Only 65 are inhabited. According to ChatGPT, there is no Russian consulate on the Åland Islands. Artificial intelligence is only learning when it comes to geopolitics. The locals have brought a Ukrainian flag to stand in front of the consulate. In 1940, as part of conditions for peace between Finland and Soviet Union after the Winter War, Russia establishes a consulate in Marienhamn. It continues to be there today. Over 50,000 people in Finland have signed a petition demanding that the consulate should be closed. Across the street from the Russian consulate is, not perhaps surprisingly, the German consulate. During the Second World War, Finland fortifies the islands. According to the treaty done in 1940, if a consular representative believes the demilitarization of Åland is being violated, he has the right to notify the Finnish authorities to perform a joint investigation. The results will then be published in Finnish and Russian. Many of the locals wish Åland to remain demilitarized with or without the consulate. Possibly the best moment to close it in mutual agreement was lost when Finland did not act in the 90s when the Soviet Union collapsed. During the 90s, the consulate was even closed at times for savings reasons. The Finnish leadership does not use the exceptional window to join NATO either. Decades will pass until Finland finally anchors itself to the West. In the local library, children's books are available in many languages, while adults have their preferred toys from preferred regions. At other times, the consulate has seen as many as 140 officials, and in 1987 it served even as a stopping point for a Swedish spy defecting to Russia. Today, the only known occupants of the consulate are the consul and his wife. In June 2021, the consulate was open for public to see a photo exhibition on Russia. In 1961, the consulate arranges a sister city agreement between the city of Lomonosov and Marienhamn. During the Second World War, the palace complex in Lomonosov, then known as Oranienbaum, was the only palace in the vicinity of St. Petersburg that was not captured by Nazi Germany. It was there where the Red Army managed to get a foothold and launch an offensive that brings the siege of Leningrad to its end. Today, Marienhamn continues to be named after the wife of Alexander II of Russia. The name reflects the region. Marie is a common Russian and Swedish name, and Hamn means harbor in Swedish. Thus, the Russian presence continues to be guaranteed in name and history of the islands with or without the consulate. Since the 1920s, the Åland Islands have been part of Finland as a result of the League of Nations decision. Today, numerous vessels from various nations navigate the narrow sea lanes.